We've put together this presentation to give you an overview of the MSW program at Westchester. Feel free to skip around or skip ahead or pause, and certainly feel free to be in touch with us if you have any questions about what you're about to hear. I want to go over with you an orientation to our MSW program, talk about your courses, field education, financial aid, tuition, and then give you some information about Westchester University at large, our campus, and our services. The MSW program here at Westchester is a top 100 program. We train our students to work from the perspective of recovery, resiliency, and capacity building. Those are themes that you're going to hear throughout all of your courses here. Our students get jobs in a range of different settings, everything from outpatient mental health, hospitals, schools, substance abuse. Some go on to be executive directors, do research, be advocates, be clinicians, do private practice, work in agencies. Starting in the fall of 2014, we'll have over 200 students. About 60 of you will be at the new Philadelphia campus. And this year has been a record number of applications. It's a highly selective process, so congratulations on being admitted. The MSW program requires students to complete 60 credits, which is 20 courses since they are 3 credits each. 51 of these credits are required, 9 are elective. These courses must be taken in sequential order. Many are prerequisites for the advanced coursework. And students must also maintain a 3.0 GPA throughout their time in the program. These 9 elective credits are 3 different courses. They can be taken in our department. They can be taken in other departments here at Westchester with our permission. And they can be transferred in from other graduate programs with our permission. This program also requires 2 year-long field placements, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a minute. The first is a 16-hour-a-week year-long placement, and the second is 20 hours a week. One thing that's important for students to know is what the culture is like here. What's it like to be in the MSW program at Westchester? Well, what I can tell you is that we're a highly personalized program. We will work with you to support your work here, and we're going to have high expectations. What that means is that we expect professional behaviors from all students around communication, self-reflection, and accountability. We expect you to let us know when you're going to be in class. We expect you to be on time for appointments. We expect you to be reflective about your work in this program, and we expect you to be accountable, just like we expect ourselves to be accountable to you. One thing you'll notice while being here is that we have a deep commitment to social justice, human rights, and ethical practice. To that end, we expect students to understand the NASW Code of Ethics and practice wherever they are with that in mind. As the director of the program, I have a very open door policy. You're always welcome to knock on my door and absolutely interrupt me if you need me, or you can call or even text me on my cell phone. So one thing students always want to know is what their schedule is going to look like. As first-year students, in the fall and spring of next year, you're going to take 5 required courses each semester. 4 of those are going to be in classrooms, and 1 of them is in the field. Next winter, if there's room, you can take electives. We have 2 one-week intensives, veterans and military families, and social work and healthcare. We are going to give priority to those students who are graduating, but if there's room, you could certainly fit 1 of your 3 electives in that winter term. In the summer of 2015, after you're done your first year, then you really do want to think about taking your electives. We have both the one-week intensives available and some 5-week courses that meet twice a week. That schedule will come out in the fall. For your second and final year, which is fall and spring 2015-2016, you have 4 required courses in the fall and 3 in the spring. We've reduced the number of required courses to allow you to spend more time in your field placement and to allow you to fit in those electives where it makes sense for you. And in May 2016, it'll be graduation time. Our field practicum process is incredibly collaborative between you, the student, and our Director of Field Education. What many of you have probably already done is to complete that field practicum application and send in a resume. Once you've done that, you meet with our Director of Field Education for about an hour to talk about your experiences, your interests, and to hear a little bit about our process. You'll be referred to one field placement at a time. Once you go for that interview, you'll give feedback to our Director of Field Education. And if you can't connect for an interview because people in social service agencies are incredibly busy, don't wait too long to let Lisa know. You won't be referred to a second placement until it's really clear that the first is not a good fit. We're not set up to allow students to shop around, and in fact, that's true at all of the MSW programs in the greater Philadelphia area. We all refer students to one placement at a time. Another thing to know about field practicum is that you're going to be responsible for purchasing your liability insurance. We'll send out information over the summer. You don't need to do it now, but it is important that you know that you are going to have to spend about $60 to have this important insurance. You're also going to be required to complete child line and criminal background checks. And some of you may need to do additional things like FBI fingerprinting, you might need a TB test, and some places even require students to have flu shots. It really depends on your agency. Some agencies are going to require you to travel in your car, let's say to do home visits, and they may not reimburse you for that travel. You're going to want to talk about this at the interview and or talk to Lisa about that if that's going to be a financial burden. Speaking of finances, tuition at Westchester will be set this summer. As a state school, we have to wait and see what the appropriation is from our state. We anticipate a 3% increase. For graduate in-state tuition and fees, all included, it's $1,779 per 3-credit class. If you put a 3% increase on that, it's about $1,800. Overall, you can probably finish your MSW for about $36,000 if you include all the fees. If you look at what they're charging at Penn, that's about $100,000, $75,000 at Bryn Mawr, and $50,000 at Widener and Temple. Pretty good deal. So to pay for this, you're going to want to think about financial aid. Westchester does not offer scholarships. All of the aid comes in the form of federal loans. Graduate students can borrow up to $20,500 in federal loans each year. And if you need more than that, you can also apply for what are called Graduate Plus loans. If you're going to apply for federal financial aid, you're going to want to think about 4 academic terms. That's fall, winter, spring, and summer. You want to complete the 2014-2015 FAFSA, and then you want to plan out your courses. Be sure that you take into account what the tuition will be for any winter or summer electives that you may want to take. One way that students at Westchester help pay for their graduate education is through graduate assistantships. There are 3 different kinds. You can get a full-time graduate assistantship, which is full remission for your tuition. That's 20 hours a week. For 10 hours a week, you get half, and if you work 5 hours a week, the assistantship pays for 1 class. These are highly competitive, so if you want to try this, make sure you prepare your resume and your cover letter well. You're going to want to contact the departments directly. Go to the homepage of Grad Studies and look and see which departments are looking to hire graduate assistants. In our department, we typically do have a few 5-hour positions. These are not allocated until late spring, and I'll be back in touch if you are interested in one of those. So, we're at the end of this webcast. When you have questions, I want to give you some places to go. First of all, if you're wondering about your courses or your course schedule, the best thing to do is to contact Becky Vandermeulen. She's our department secretary, and really, she knows all things. Her email address is listed here. When you have questions about field placement, contact Lisa Allen, the Director of Field Education. You will have an advisor assigned by the end of the semester, and that's the person you go to talk about electives, your course schedule, in addition to Becky, and really any other concerns. As the director of the program, you're also welcome to reach out to me, either by phone, by email, or stop by when I have office hours. So as we end this webcast, what I want to leave you with are some tips for success in the program. First, make sure you set up a reasonable schedule. Graduate school is challenging. Make sure you have time for self-care. Check your WCU email regularly. We will no longer be using your personal address once classes start in the fall. Consult with your advisor as needed. Make sure you stop in and meet with your professors during office hours if you need help. So welcome to the MSW program at Westchester University. We are thrilled that you'll be joining us, and we look very forward to taking this important professional journey with you.